Okay, guys, so today is going to be more about mysticism, understanding mysticism. Mainly what Tuesday is going to start coming is more or less, it's going to be Tarot Tuesday today. So we're going to open up and look into some oracle cards and see what we should be having in store for humanity at this point in time, what we need to be thinking about, and keep our eyes on the prize at this point. Today I'm going to be playing with one of my favorite decks, and that is this one here. And that's this deck is some of the cards that's on this one is if I would have another tattoo made, it would be made like equivalent to what this shit is. It's got some really powerful images, sure enough. So and then I would like to touch on Gematria. Gematria is based in mysticism as well. It's out of the Talmud and the Kabbalah, and the only people that truly understand Jewish mysticism like that are people that's been taught through Jewish train of thought, or it's called the school of thought, and only the true Jews, what's funny is almost all Jews go through this school, but what we don't understand is most Jews don't understand that there is a whole nother sect of people that might have been trained like a Jew, but they really aren't Jews. They're a cult outside of the Judaism, and they are the Frankists, and they are the ones that are our rulers, and they claim to be Jew, but they aren't, so they can still be underneath an umbrella, because at this point they have to have an umbrella to be able to hide under. And so what they do is they say they're something, but they aren't. They were kicked out of that sect long ago. And so Jewish mysticism today with Gematria is placed in our media on a daily basis. And after you start understanding Jewish mysticism for what it is and how they portray it, okay, media was created by the Jews, and that's a fact. And they were the ones that started the first newspaper, and since then they have now created all these other media platforms. So when they put out daily articles, everything is combined with numerology and letters and numbers that equal numerology to be able to put out an agenda to show people certain things that have been through the school of thought. And people that have been trained in the school of thought can see this imagery and know the letters and numbers like the back of their hand, like A equals 1, B equals 2, and so on and so forth. And what we have to understand today, yes, Kabbalah started in like the European region. But what you don't understand today, we as Americans rule the world. So if you go to any other country in the world, almost every single country in the world is teaching their children in schools to speak English. Why? Because we are the bitch. We are like the king of the castle, and so everybody has to learn our language. With that said, Gematria today is done by English ordinal, reverse ordinal, which is done by numerology through the alphabet, right? Now there's different forms of it. There's older ones that's Jewish Gematria, numerology, but today most of our media goes through English ordinal, and then there's 4 main ciphers that they use. So they're able to tweak these ciphers, and it's all but unheard of to be able to have something that radiates these numerologies time in and time out, and then have people on their shows for a specific reason. Maybe they're just bought and paid for. I'm not sure. I think a lot of it are paid and staged. I think there's a lot of things out there that are hidden from society as of today that we don't really understand because we're the Goyim, and in most true Orthodox Judaism and the Frankists, Goyim is nothing more, they see me nothing more than an animal. And their laws, this is one of the laws they have. They can lie to us and kill us and not be punished for it. And that is a law by the Kabbalists. So most people don't understand. So when they're putting out the media in a lie to us, they can lie to us. It's in their book. It's in the original scripture that they can lie to the goy, which I am a goy. You probably are a goy. The majority of people are goy. And goyim is people that are not of that lineage. So let's get into the cards. And then I'll explain the gematria a little bit later, how what we have been looking at recently is a little bizarre. We've been noticing some things about the Hoover Dam that seems a little funky, and they've been putting out a lot of numerology lately with certain songs. And if you look at the songs, it's Public Enemy something. I don't know famous people. I'm not good with actors. I'm not good with celebrities. I don't know anybody. So they put out these certain songs with symbology of where it's at. And then what's funny is the numerology of these dates. Hoover Dam is 88. Energy equals 88. HH, Herbert Hoover equals 88. So all this stuff is like lining up. And we're not sure, because a lot of this stuff they're showing right now on the media is like Transformers having trouble at Hoover Dam, if you haven't noticed. So we have now started breaking this system down, the goyim, the people that aren't supposed to know about it. And let me just go ahead and let me just continue, and then I'll get into the cards. So what's funny, most people thought that this was all bullshit when I was first learning it, right? And what's funny, my brother ended up marrying a Jew that went through the school of thought. He was in a bad accident when he was when he was put in that school. So he wasn't able to do the entire program, but he did learn Hebrew. He did learn Gematria, which is letters and numbers. And my brother thought I was completely batshit crazy. And then me and him had a complete livid conversation about how this is set up. And he's like, yeah, that was something that was taught. Sorry, I just got hot as hell. And so what's funny is he got a new car a couple years ago, and he changed his license tag, and I got behind him heading to Hooters. Me, a bunch of gay boys, we like to go eat them chicken wings at Hooters. I don't know why, we just do. It's fun. So we end up going to Hooters, and I get behind his Range Rover. I'm like, that license tag is straight up Gematria. So he stopped. My brother said, no, that ain't nothing. That ain't nothing. It's all made up. You are coming up with a bunch of lies. And he's like, no, Jeremy, it is. It's all these numbers have numbers, and they have meanings. And this number in front of that means I am a lawyer through this college, through this and through that. And people of the school of thought understand it. And that's where we don't understand. So I catch him on a bunch of his little things. Nothing's, he's now the thing is, what you have to understand, there's the Jewish that aren't here to harm society, and then there are the Frankists. And the Frankists are the ones that want to rule us, they want to kill us, they want to wipe us out, they want to use us for their slave race. And that's practically what's going on today, is they have now created a slave race where they make us assume that we're free, which we aren't, and they make you assume that everything that we do is for our own, like our free will, which it isn't. So if it was our free will, really, we shouldn't have to pay taxes every year for property. A lot of other countries, you pay for the property tax when you first buy the property, and you never pay after that. So why are we paying property tax year in and year out, and then you have to pay all these other weird ass taxes around here? It's unheard of in a lot of other countries. But in the prime place in the world, we have all these weird taxes that should not even be, that's actually fraudulent, probably in most cases. So, long story short, we was looking through the Herbert Hoover Dam, and the numerology has been falling into place, and I'm talking perfect lately. So it's all of it's 88, all interlining with energy. And then come to find out, we was looking into it, and Las Vegas, and the reason that they like to do it through Gematria the way that they do is they make it seem it's biblical. But it's actually not biblical. They're playing God because they're smarter than us and they know how to use these codes with letters and numbers so they can play God, and then you assume it's God. But it's not. It's actually them playing your God, if you get what I mean. These people are that rich, and they have their own agenda, and that is their agenda. So what's funny is, okay, so if Las Vegas is electrically ran by the Herbert Hoover Dam, Vegas numerology I think is 86. So we was thinking these would be two good things. It could either be 86, could be the power cut off, and that would be Las Vegas losing its power, and they could lose power for 2 days and they'll come back on 8/8, which is the memorial of the Hoover Dam being 88, equaling up to the numerology of energy. So the people of that sect would know exactly who did it, why they did it, and you have to think about it too. Okay, so the people of the Frankists are considered the Illuminati today, which the Freemasons, it's so funny because people claim that they're a Freemason around here. They don't know bullshit. I know probably 15 times more than they do. And if you asked me to go to be in that clique, I would laugh in your face. It's just funny how people assume since you're in this clique that you have all these like hidden agendas when you don't really know shit. You're just being another slave, and then they'll probably buy you off and then force you to do something behind your back that you don't even know that you're doing. And then come to find out, you'll probably get arrested like Dingleberry over in Las Vegas that got caught for like shooting up the crowd, which was probably, who knows what happened there. But that seemed like a whole nother weird scenario too, but I'm not even going to get into that. So what we're thinking is either it's going to hit Las Vegas on 8/6, because Las Vegas is 86, or hit the Hoover Dam, which is 8/8, August 8th, and then that will then create the energy failure for that date numerology, and then Las Vegas will lose its power. But I was thinking about it a little bit after I put some information out yesterday or the day before, and I was thinking maybe what they will do is this, and that's knock out the power grid on Las Vegas on August the 6th, keep the power out till August the 8th on that numerology, and then everything falls into place. And that's how Gematria works. And that's where a lot of people think that this is just coincidence. None of this shit is coincidence. These people own the dam. They own our government. They rule our government. Okay, so think about the presidents, right? So Donald Trump was the 45th president. Donald Trump equals 45. Mike Pence equals 45. Why is Joe Biden the 46th president? The only other president that was Catholic with the numerology of 46 was JFK, which was Catholic. So they had to put Biden into the Catholicist ideal mindset of the 46. What we've already talked about, after Biden got into office, what we assume is going to happen, because Ivanka Trump, I'm pretty sure, will become the president, and the only way she can become the president to make it look like it was actually like legit, well, Biden's going to get knocked out of the office or die, or he'll probably get shipped out and shipped home. Who knows? I don't know where the hell he's from. And then Carmela will end up becoming president to be like the first woman to open up the seat for this next phase of woman leadership, which will then be Ivanka Trump. Because Ivanka Trump equals 47 or 48. I'm not sure, all this off the top of my head. But all this is numerology. And so the funny thing is, we had so many presidents before George Washington. Nobody's ever recognized. Why? Because the Frankists got here and they changed the shit up. And unless you're part of the clique, you ain't in it. And I'm not in it, and you probably ain't in it either. And some people are over here like putting out weird ass symbology, assuming that they can put symbology out or start doing certain things to become the clique. You will never be the clique. You wasn't born in the clique. You don't have the blood of the clique, and it ain't going to make you in the clique. So Quit forcing yourself into something that you'll never become. It is what it is. Either fight against it, deal with it, learn from it, and know what the fuck's going on, or get the fuck out. It's about that. That's about as simple as it's going to become. So, next thing you know, so before George Washington came in, he was like the first Francis of the sect that came here and was actually in office. So what they did is they claimed him to be like the very first United States president, and then from that point forward, it has been the same sects of people shifting into our office. So they want us to think, oh shit, I am a Democrat, I am a Republican, and this person's horrible. I'm voting for whatever is the best option. Boo, that bitch was already selected. Everything has been selected from the numerology from the Pope, because that is the dark side. So you have to understand, when you look at the pulpit of the Catholic Church in Rome, when you look at where he's like preaching from, it's the snake. It resembles the snake. So they have to put things in plain sight to make you understand that they are the reptilian gods. They are like the alien species. And I'm not sure if that was, if some of the gods weren't aliens at one time. I'm not quite sure. And that's what I'd like to channel on some of these gods, because there's a bunch of different gods within the Holy Bible, and most people don't even know it. There's Kyrios, there's Theos, there's the Elohim, then there's Elohim Jehovah. What else is in there? Then there's a couple other names off the top of my head I can't think. I'll have to think about it, and I have to write it down to channel on it. But the thing is everybody thinks it's one God in that Bible, but it's not. There's many different names within the gods of that Bible, and Elohim, and at the very first, it's Elohim, men, women, goddesses, and gods. And then there's Elohim Jehovah, which is a singular, and then there is Kyrios, which is a singular, then there's Theos, which is a singular God. So we have to understand that these concepts that they've rewritten in these books are just concepts today to make you assume something, which they were all fraudulent to begin with. We just don't know how to understand the true scripture. And by not understanding the true scripture, what they have done is they have manipulated and mistranslated it on purpose to make you perceive a specific way. So, I think I've had enough spiel for today. Now, let's get into the cards. I'm going to flip this down after I get this shuffled. And my thing that I was going to ask today was going to be, what do we need to start looking into to have our eyes open within society within the next, say, 6 months? And because the thing is there's going to be a shift within society itself, and then, but the thing is they are fighting tooth and nail right now to try to pass all these agendas to keep people in fear and live in a certain state of like being. And that's not what we were built for. And they know if they can keep you in that being, they can keep you on a perpetual cycle to where you will not leave this current realm. And when you keep on this perpetual cycle, you will keep like being recycled here. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. The reason that we keep getting recycled, the ones that are still within the divine right of humanity, we can get out of here. But we have to get out of that fear-indoctrinated space, mind control, blood paradigm that we're in. Because all this is done by like blood magic, and it is done by some wicked-ass people that don't care about society. And back in the old days, they would kill their firstborns, just like Cain and Abel. If you actually read the story properly, Cain and Abel, the reason that brother killed the other one was because one killed their firstborn, and his brother would not. And it says the sheep, come to find out, if you go on down through the scripture and actually look at it properly, you can go to Bible Hub and look. And it actually talks about the first leaven, or like child, like the good parts of a child, the firstborn of a child. So he was actually wanting him to kill one of the firstborns, and he even brought his brother a firstborn child to kill, and he refused, and that's why he was killed. So that's why he was killed, and then they took his body as a mass sacrificial magic to continue their blood paradigm. And that's where a lot of people don't understand these hidden ideas and agendas that are inside this book. It's factual. It's there. We just don't know how to read that language, the original language, and know the true meaning of that language. So it has been misconscribed, and then we assume something that's not even true to begin with. So we're just sitting back, like, assuming it to be true when it's been alive from the very beginning, since they recreated the book in the Roman times. And so what we're going to be doing today is looking at humanity. And what is humanity going to be moving into, and what do we need to be sitting here with open eyes and an open heart, understanding these aspects. I have called in my guides earlier. Sometimes my guides will come in, and when I look at the cards, they'll actually turn the cards into like something else so I get a better reading. So I do that often, is just call my guides in, or past loved ones. And sometimes if I'm reading for other people, their loved ones will like shift the cards and make it look differently, and then I'll know what I need to say, if you get what I mean. Okay. Let's flip these down so you can be able to see the cards. Okay, so in the current state of humanity, we need to start becoming more of a creative outlet, because it seems like people are just being stuck in too many places. Their minds are just like made up, and they haven't even really understood the meaning of life. And to be able to do and get creative, we have to start setting boundaries for the outer worlds, because the outer worlds are going to start really shifting around. Let me pull this back up. So the subconscious right now is, we understand that there's like something that's happening on a different level, and it's not a level that we've known before. It's a level to where we see it, we understand it. So what is it that we're going to be starting to get out of? We just got out of the place to where we started to reclaim sovereignty, and there's going to become a death and rebirth of almost like a mental space for people, because people are going to start seeing and understanding that what is happening right now is they're being manipulated and forced into an agenda, and there's things that needs to be released. And there is what's going to have to happen is they're going to have to start being released, and you just don't allow others to dictate how you feel, because at the point that we're in today is we're just observing, right? And there's too many things that's sitting around here trying to manipulate us, and we don't understand these aspects to the point to where it's actually still affecting us. And at this point in life, we need to really take the time. Isn't that funny? We need to sit down in nature. Is that not weird that I wanted to sit on the ground today? So it's saying what we need to start doing is sit down in nature so we can have more of a playful atmosphere. So we are not connected, because the sacred sexuality in people has been mistranslated for so long. And there's just, the problem is there's a lot of people are starting to understand sacred sexuality. Sacred sexuality used to be like a taboo, but the thing is, sacred sexuality is not a bad thing. It's understanding both concepts. Like if you have a wife, you have to understand her needs as much as you would understand your own. Just like each person has a male or a female aspect of each other. And to get where we need to be in society, we have to get within nature and have a playful attitude, because a lot of times people are too terrified and they're stuck in certain boundaries to where they assume everything is out to get you. And we're going to have to release that negativity. We're going to have to release it and let it go. Quit being the observer and start taking the action for yourself. You start becoming a better person, because there is no reason that anybody should be able to manipulate you, manipulate your mind, and create something for you when you're the only person that can create your own destiny. And that's what I got. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you have a great afternoon. I'm going to probably sit here and meditate for a few minutes. Have a good day.